Hello, my name is Bradley, and I'm your host of The Internal Game. Today, we are going to be talking about imagination and how it creates your reality, and how imagination is the only reality. So, don't trip about what you see out there because it is all changeable because you are changeable. Okay, so Niels Bohr, a physicist from back in the day, he said everything that we call real is made up of things that cannot be regarded as real. And I don't want to get too much into the science stuff about it. You can look up the observer effect and things like that. But the observer effect is like pretty much saying in the quantum world which we live in, right? That all particles exist simultaneously. Like everything's happening right now, but can only be properly defined when observed. Which means that everything is happening right now. There's infinite realities, but the one that you are aware of, the one that you observe, the one that you put your awareness on is the one that you see. And there's so many different worlds going on right now, and you only see yours because that's the one you have your awareness on. And if you want a different world, you place your awareness on the new world up here in imagination. That's why they say circumstances do not matter, because like they've already been created. It is what it is, and you can change your mind at any time. And when you change your mind, you change your life. So we all share like the universal mind. Like we're all one consciousness. We're all connected. We're not separate from anyone, anything. Everything is connected in this quantum world. And depending on our awareness is what we see, right? So when we're thinking of something, we are calling that forth. And when we are thinking of something, everyone hears what we're thinking about. Like, see, I'm a private person. I don't really like people in my relationship. I don't like people in my personal life, things like that. But I know now that no thought is private because we are all connected. Just because you're not saying it out loud doesn't mean people don't hear it. You ever like said something and someone said the exact same thing back to you? Like people parrot you. You've never heard any time in your life, you've never heard anything that you have not already thought about yourself, or you thought that somebody thought about you, or just things that you were thinking about in general. It was all just reflected back to you because you can only ever experience what's already in your consciousness, already in your awareness, already in your world. That's it. You can't experience anything else. So that's why they say like thought transmission, because we all connected. So when you want your specific person, right? Let's just throw that one in there. Be careful what you think, because they think that. Be careful what you think they think about you, because they think that. Because guess what? They don't have another choice, because we're all connected. We're all just sharing the universal mind. And then the thing is they think it's their thought, right? These people, everyone is thinking that it's their own original thought, but it's not. It's all coming from you. So that's how powerful. That's how powerful you are. Like we're all connected. You're not separate. So be careful about what you're putting out there. Maybe from now on, a good idea is to like be so conscious of your thoughts that like realize that whatever you're thinking, whatever you're affirming to be true, whatever is heard by the entire world. Like when you say business is booming, people love my product, my business is booming. That is heard out there, and then all of a sudden people come to you. It has to be proven true. But like you're not just manifesting a specific person like in a relationship, right? Like that's I get it. Do your thing. Send the thoughts out, get it back, assume favorably of your person, get that back, right? But even if you say, oh, money finds me, money loves me, somebody has to give you the money. Somebody has to buy your product. Somebody has to buy your coaching. Somebody has to come into your business. Somebody has to hire you. Like, because we're all one, and they're picking up on what you're believing to be true. It's all imagination. Like there's nothing real. It's one big game of awareness. And there's really no need to trip. So if you've lost your person from your thoughts, because I guarantee you it's from your thoughts. I've been there before, thinking unfavorably about my person and being like, oh, is she thinking about somebody else? Is she thinking about this? Is she thinking about that? And then that shit was reflected back to me. Right? And then I've brought them back in before. I mean, that's why self-concept is so important. Because again, what you're saying about yourself, think about that. What you're saying about yourself, what you're thinking about yourself, what you're thinking is true. The whole world is hearing that. Nothing is private. You have nothing going on private. So if you're like, man, like I'm just not feeling too good. No one really likes me, man. I feel like I can't get ahead in this world, and I can't just do it. That everybody hears that, and they're like, okay, we don't like you, man. If you're like me, and you're perfect, and you say, hey, you know what? Like I am God's gift to earth. There's no one better. Like there's no one better than me. I am the real deal. I am perfect. I am the man. I mean, I say a bunch of stuff throughout the day, but like that stuff gets reflected back to me because and I actually really believe that about myself because I came to this realization that if nothing's real, and we got to play this game of awareness anyway, and it's all just a game of yes, of what you're saying. Like what I mean is like the universe, God, subconscious mind just says yes to whatever it is that you believe about yourself and the world, then you might as well be extremely into self and confident. And doesn't mean you gotta go tell everybody, hey man, I'm God's gift to earth, man. You just say it within. Because I can tell you one thing, guys, in this game of imagination, I spent a long time in my life thinking not so good things about myself. Thinking I was less than, thinking people could leave me. I thought people didn't understand me, and that I just had this whole story and guess what, that I didn't experience that many great things because of that. When I shifted and said no, this is what's going on, this is my reality, this is who I am now, and I just persisted in that, my life is like, people reflect that back to you. So don't get hung up on the oh man, I don't want to be conceited, I don't want to be. Why not? You literally are the God of your reality. I'm not saying you're God himself that made the world, but you are, like Eckhart Tolle said, you are God the same way that a sun ray is the sun. And I love that analogy because you are part of it. You are one with God, and you are having a human experience, and you get to create your own reality based on your imagination. And if you want to change your life, if you want your person, if you want your glow up, that's my thing right now, is I'm here for the specific people, right? If you want your person, that's fine. People are going to come back on main default on just your self-concept alone. And it doesn't mean that you won't fight the old man, like the old self, when you're trying to change. Some stuff will come up, be like, man, maybe even things inside of you, but you just persist in the new story. But that's my thing now, is an entire glow up in life. I really came to the conclusion that I deserve a wonderful, full life. I want my person. I want loads of money to take care of my family and my people, and I want to help millions of people on here remember who they are. I want them to have a wonderful life, because guess what? That just raises the consciousness in the collective anyway, and the world actually would be a better place. The higher you raise in consciousness, the better you are for the world. There's no honor in poverty. There's no honor in victimhood. There's no honor in chasing somebody. There's no honor in being down on self. Use your imagination. Bring yourself up. Raise your level of awareness, raise your consciousness, and create a wonderful life. You don't have to just stop at the person. Because let me tell you something. There's finances going on in your life. There's work. There's so many other things that have to be thought about. And if you just focus on one thing, then the assumptions that you've already had of the other areas in your life, they just keep playing there. You need to boss up, really, really level up in every area of life. And you can do this by imagining a new concept of self and realizing that nothing's real, dude. Nothing is actually real. No need to trip. And all I gotta do is get in my imagination, create a whole new me, and assume differently of the world, and then all of a sudden I'm in a whole new motherfucking world. You couldn't even when I got a comment yesterday that was like, hey, please keep up the SP stuff. This usually isn't what you do. And it's true. I I spent like a good 6 months like learning about the Eckhart Tolles and presence and things like that. And these things are all great. These are all true things as well. But like, if you still have a shit self concept, if your self concept still isn't on point, it's still not going to be fun. I still was creating some stuff that wasn't ideal for me, and in the past 3 weeks, like working, like just changing self concept, like I can't explain to you like what has happened in my life, like even just the way I feel in a state of being, and to think it was all so easy that all I had to do was just change what was going on in my imagination, change my ideas and how I imagine myself to be, change how I imagine things and people to be. I even made a video about purging one time. It's like, oh, when you change your energy, like sometimes things fall off. I'm like, that's true, right? But it's only true if you believe it. Past 3 weeks, I've been working on my self concept. Like, no, I ain't seen no purge. Nothing bad's happened to me. I wouldn't say 2 weeks. Let's say 2 weeks. Past 2 weeks, like really hitting it. Nothing's happened to me. I feel amazing. But it's all coming from my imagination, and you realize that like the only reason that you're not feeling well is because you're imagining something to not be true. The only reason that you are sad is because you're imagining something that you think is that sucks up here. That's it. Nothing's real. Your imagination is dictating your feelings. Your imagination is dictating your world. Your imagination is dictating everything. And the quicker that you can realize that everything is happening right now, simultaneously, all worlds are connected, everything's connected, you're not creating a whole new person, like your specific person. If you have you had unfavorable beliefs about them, right? That means you selected a not so good version of them, and then you focused on it, and that's what you got back. So you're not changing them, you're selecting a new version of them, just like you're selecting a new version of yourself, just like you're selecting a new version of your glow up, like of your careers, your finance, your money. Like everything's already existing simultaneously. There's like there's infinite versions of your person, there's infinite versions of your business, there's infinite versions of you. And whichever one you select and keep your awareness on and live there, that's the one you're going to see. I've done that with people. I selected a not so good, even not that long ago, a not so good version of somebody, and it got reflected back. And like, that's not their fault. That was mine. I've selected versions of not having any money in my life. Not the world's fault. Mine. I didn't know any better, but it is what it is. I've selected versions of people being able to treat me certain ways. Because I selected a version of myself that was rooted in a being that could happen to, and that's what happened. It's all in imagination. Nothing is real. No need to trip on outside circumstances, because the circumstances were created by you, and all you gotta do is select a whole new reality in your imagination, and then you're going to see a different one. And that reality is still there anytime you want. Anytime you want to go back to it. Anytime you want to go back to being broke, go ahead. Anytime you want your girl or your boy to find a third party, that reality is there too. You can go back to it anytime you want. But you don't have to. You just have to live in imagination about the way that you want things to be, and you live there as if they already are, and you do it with love, and you do it with expecting the best, and you do it with a knowing that you are not separate from anything, that nothing's real. Life's one big game. That's why I call it the internal game. It's one big game. No need to trip. You don't have to be without your person. You don't have to be without money. You don't have to be without anything. Like you don't have to be a victim. You can get out of your victimhood right now and live up in the imagination and select a whole new reality. You don't have to keep being heartbroken. You don't have to keep being left. You don't have to keep thinking shit about yourself. You don't have to keep. You can. That's the free will that you have, but nobody else has the free will. They will reflect back to you. As real as it seems that they're doing it to you, is I know. Trust me. I just had a conversation yesterday with somebody, and I was like, man, like, but you did. And then I was like, man, they didn't. They didn't. I did. And it helps. Like when you realize that, it helps you forgive. It helps you really realize the importance of your thoughts. Like they're extremely, extremely powerful. And when you become conscious of like how imagination creates reality and your thoughts create reality, like every single moment, you start getting real picky about what you're throwing out there. You start getting real picky about what you're creating, because like if you've created a bunch of nonsense from your thoughts, you can create a bunch of fucking awesome stuff because of your thoughts. Don't buy into the whole belief that you gotta listen to something for 21 days to change your beliefs. No, just live in imagination, dude. I bought into that too. Like, and be careful what you believe to be true from other people, even me. Like, if you don't like it, doesn't fit, don't do it. Because once you take it on to be true, that's what you see. But you don't have to buy into the whole like listen to something for 21 days or do this for 21 days or write this down 3 times, 9 times, 22 times, like I've talked about in videos before. Like, you don't have to do all that. Just consciously live in your imagination. And if something is kind of not favorably, say no, that's not how I do things anymore. But it's going to be a whole lot easier to do when you actually really take on the belief that imagination creates reality. Because if you know that for sure, then you'll be able to look at the outside and say, man, that's just a circumstance that like the old me created, and the old me isn't here anymore because I've selected a whole new version, and this is how our life is. And then you just stay there. So, I don't know, I think I've rambled on long enough. I do appreciate you guys for watching. I'll do more SP videos. Like the lady was mentioning yesterday, she said you guys appreciate that. And my intention when I first made the channel was to master self. And I noticed that like when I was making the videos for the last 5 months or so, like I still was having some unfavorable stuff going on in my life, and it was like I was learning all this stuff about everything, really. I mean, I have many videos, but I still had not really grasped the concept of how important it is to have a strong, well-rooted self-concept. And even when I actually figured it out, I was like, man, I got to change all these beliefs. I got to do it. And it's like, no, I don't. I didn't. Like I ended up doing that, but you just live in imagination as the new you. You got to think, man. Back in the day, you think Neville Goddard had nighttime tapes? I think Jesus back in the day when he was like telling you to focus on him and the internal kingdom, you think that he was like, hey, you got to start for 21 days though before you can make any changes? No. Like, there wasn't those things. They just Neville Goddard just said, hey, embody a new state, live there. All this stuff is as easy as you make it or as hard as you make it. And if you keep going down rabbit holes and listening to a whole bunch of different people, then you kind of get all these different directions, and all you gotta do is make your own rules because you're doing that anyway. And realize that all this stuff is easy. All you gotta do is select a new version of you, live there in imagination. Imagination creates reality. Nothing is real. So please don't be sad. Please don't be upset. Everything is already done. Like, once you say it's done, live there. And get your people back. Get your person, even if you're not getting them back and you want someone, get your person. Get your life together. Get your finances together. Get your dreams together, be on your mission, be on your goals. Like, this stuff is important. It's a whole life glow up. And you live there in imagination. And once observed, like I said, in the observer effect, the particles are properly defined. You will see it in the outside world. But only after your awareness is on them. So, that's all I got, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video.